We sit down with this triple threat, Ryan Chavez.
I've loved performing arts since I was like a baby. My mom is always like, you were singing before you could talk. I was just making noise constantly. And like I loved movies. Where we were back home, I couldn't really hang out with my friends all the time, so like movies were like my thing. And if I was anywhere or like had to go to a babysitter, I had to have my movie. And how some kids like will carry around a blanket or like a teddy bear, I carried around like a videotape, like actually true story. And it was either like The Little Mermaid or like we would actually like record things on TV constantly. And I would be like, oh, this has all my favorite things. I'll just carry this around. And that was like my security thing. I always had to have my tape. And I've never wanted to do anything else. I've just always wanted to perform. Aunt has a studio in Silver City. And I started dancing when I was 5 in the studio. And I danced like for 2 years, like 5 to 6, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to dance. Like, I'm too cool to dance. And then I didn't dance for when I was like, I think 7, and then I was like, that was stupid. So then I came back and then just continued off until college. So being in a small town, if you want to do these things, like I had my dance studio, but I didn't really have like, there wasn't really acting going around. Even in high school, like we had drama. I went to a really small, really tiny high school, and they had drama, but then once I was in high school, drama got cut, so then there wasn't any drama. So I did dance majority of it, and then there would like be like acting conventions that would come through Silver sometimes, and then I would do that. And then through the college, when I was still in high school, I would do like their drama program, which is like a big old, like people would see me and be like, well, there's not acting here, well come do it over here. And I was like, okay. And then, so I was doing acting where I could, dance where I could, and then I was in like choir in school. So I was kind of doing all that. And in terms of like dance, like I would leave to go to like Phoenix, which was the closest place to go, to do like dance conventions and just to like get out there. And then once it was like time for college, and I've been doing these things, and then I started doing them like kind of professionally, but like locally, I was like, well, I still want to study this, like I'm still really young. But as that was happening, I was like, I might as well try. So while I was finishing high school, I went and auditioned for an agent in it wasn't my first one. Like I went through like 3 that I like sent my stuff out because I was like super green and just had a bunch of like local things. And like got rejected by a few of these companies. That's always kind of been my thing, like throughout, even to now. I'm just like, people will say no, it's okay. And then I finally got my first agent, and she was okay with me being green, but also like trained me a little bit. So that was cool. So then I was in Las Cruces doing college of performing arts, but it was like, I'm in college, but I just really want to like perform. And I was in this little student-run dance company called Dancers Unlimited, and like that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be in Dancers Unlimited, but I had to be in school to be in Dancers Unlimited, so I had like 2 academic classes just so I can be in Dancers Unlimited. It was fine. While I'm trying to do school, I'm leaving to go do auditions. My agent will call me and be like, I'm in Cruces, she's in Phoenix, 5 hours, 6 hours away. So she'd be like, hey, you have an audition tomorrow. Can you come? And I'm like, oh my God, sure. So I'd have to just like put everything on pause in Cruces, and if I had rehearsals, be like, I'll be back tomorrow, we'll see what's going on. Drive up, do a 5-minute audition, be like, yay, thanks, and then come back. And I did that a couple times before I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't. And then that's when my agent was like, let's talk about school. I was like, okay. You know you're going to school for what you are already doing professionally, right? And I will remember that till the day I die, because I looked at her and was like, then why? All the whys happen. So then after that, I moved to Phoenix, was there doing the audition stuff, and then was like, I want a bigger market. Because even Phoenix, it's a bigger city, but it still like does just commercials and short films. And I was like, I want a bigger market. Let's try to get me to LA, because that's the place. So she was like, okay, let's get you to LA. So then she hooked me up, getting me another agent there, but I still was with her. So now I have my 2. So then I moved to LA. when I was 23. Yeah, 23, and then was there and just doing the audition thing for a while. I was living with my friend's grandparents, who were super sweet and were just super supportive, and was doing like commercials and short films and just whatever I can kind of do, because when you're there, they just send stuff to you and you're like, I'm not a rapper, but they're sending me to this rapper thing. Okay, cool. Probably not gonna get it, but I'm gonna go try. And then after that, one of the auditions was a dancer for Carnival. And again, they send you all these things. I was like, dancer for a cruise ship. Okay, whatever. I really don't even think I read the whole thing. I just was like, cool, I'll go do that. So I did the audition. It was like really fun. Like they taught us a few dances and like made cuts, and then they took us into a music room and was like, let's see if you can harmonize. And I was like, oh God. But I did okay, and then they like told us about the job, and they were just like, they offered it to me, and I was like, okay, wait, what's going on? What's happening? So then I almost didn't do it because it was like completely, it was still performing, but it was not what I envisioned at all. I'll go home to Silver City and like see people and see family and whatever, and then I'm like, okay, well, I have this other job in Farmington, New Mexico, where I am a competition coach at a studio called Dance Connection, and I will go up there once a month when I'm not on the ship and do competition dances for all these little children's and teenagers. And then whenever I'm done with that, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to LA for a while and just audition while I'm on vacation, and then I'll get my next ship assignment, and then I'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go see my aunt in Phoenix on the way back to New Mexico to see my family before I go back on the ship, and then that just repeats after every contract, and it's just like travel constantly, which is stupid because I hate driving. The main thing is don't ever give up. You're gonna hear so many more no's than you do yeses, and when I say so many more, like out of all those auditions, I'll get one maybe out of like 50. And then it's like, yeah, some people, that's not the case. For me, it is, and it's totally fine. But that one might be Carnival. So then it's like, oh, this is amazing, and it's been a whole new path. So don't ever stop, keep training anywhere you can. There's so many, we're in a great time where like, if you want acting lessons, there's someone that'll Skype with you and give you acting lessons. There's someone that'll give you singing lessons over the phone. Like there's so many things, you just have to go out there and look for it and be willing to work for what you want. So don't ever give up, and you just have to keep trying. I've had to overcome, I just think it's the willingness to grow as a performer, because like, there's performers that like you'll have talent, or you'll have like some kind of early talent, and then they don't nurture it at all. And with my experience with like my friends and with me too, if you don't nurture anything, if it's your voice, your dancing ability, your acting, like it goes away, like you lose it. So I think my main thing that I've had to try to do is just try to not be so hard on myself, but also just always be a student, I guess. Because once you're like, I got it, it's fine. Oh, it's just, you're about to go down the worst decline of your life when you're just like, nah, this is good. I'm still kind of in the arts in my free time. What a lot of people don't know is I love to write. Like I love to write like stories. And I have like a few that I've just been working on through like since I was young, and just kind of, I don't read at all, which is bad for an actor because you have to read all the time, and they just send you these things and they're just like, learn this, and I'm like, oh, fine. But when I'm writing, like I can't just sit down and just do it for a long time. I like do a little here and then it goes away, and I do a little here. I also do a lot of video editing, like just like baby stuff. Like I'll find a TV show that I really like, and then I'm like, oh, that would go cool, like go really cool with this song. So then I like will cut clips together to the song and make it all whatever. And that's where like my perfectionist comes in again, because those videos I'm like, no, it needs to be here, it needs to be on this. So I do writing, I do singing and dancing and acting all the time, even when it's not my job. Love hanging out with friends. I'm a very people person all the time. Get into this lifestyle on the cruise ships where it's just like I said, like you get up, you go eat, you go to the mess or whatever, you do your workouts. We have some duties here and there, which they're fun. They're with guests, they're guest interaction, and then we do 2 shows at night. Normally like one at 7, one at 9, or something like that. Like the times vary per ship. And then after that, there's like a crew bar, and then you go and like hang out with your friends and do that, and then you go back. And when you do that every day, like we have different shows every day, and then all of a sudden they're just like, we're sending you home because there's this pandemic and it's bad. And I can't explain to you how hard it is to be a performer, and all my other performers know what I'm talking about out there. You don't know how hard it is when you're doing what you love every single day, and then someone is just like, you can't do this anymore until like further notice. It's just like, it eats at you, and that's all you want. That's all you want, is to be back on that ship in front of those people doing your shows. So it's been, I have to look at the positives. Like, it's been great in terms of like, my contract was cut like 2 months short. I got to see my family, kind of. Social distance. Got to see my family earlier than I would. It's been a lot of quality time with them, and I've been able to, since I have so much free time, just work on my dancing, singing majority, because I feel like that's kind of my weakest thing. Dancing, singing, and then just acting, and just being able to have the free time to be like, okay, well, you normally don't have all this time, let's use this to kind of own your craft a little bit. But God, it's been so hard, and I can't wait until they're like, I get the call or the email that's like, hey, we're offering you this. I'll go wherever. I don't even care. I don't care what ship it is. I'll go wherever. Just put me back. I want the ocean, and I want my shows, and I want my crew, and it's just, send me that. I want it. That.
Follow Ryan on Instagram, Broman105.